Start.
Alright,
I see one.
go ahead and start.
2, 3, 4,
And
5,
if you will, just kind of
6, 7.
scan the audience and let's see what we've got going on.
All right, I have scanned.
And then if you'll keep them kind of occasionally in the picture where they can see that nobody ducked out on us during the presentation. All right, thank you again, everybody, for coming this evening. I appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to be here for me, because this is a major part of my grade. This speech will actually be on methamphetamine, and I will assume the role of the introducer here at this point. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Deputy Smith, and we're here tonight to talk about methamphetamine. I know that a lot of you have been introduced to the subject, unfortunately, through the media and through people that you know. But the person that I'm going to have talk about this tonight is a person known as Benny the Chef. Benny actually was a meth cooker, and we'll give you more information on what actually a meth cooker is and does here in a minute. But he's definitely an expert on the subject, and just to let you know, I met Benny when I arrested him. Good evening, everybody. My name is Benny. Everybody knows me as Benny the Chef, and we're here this evening to talk about meth. And I wanted to give you all some background on it because I know that there have been some questions. So let's discuss meth in general here first. I started off actually cooking meth, wasn't a user. As you'll hear in a few minutes that I actually ended up becoming a user, became addicted, and the burns that you see and everything else on me are because of meth. But let's start by defining some terms here so that everybody is on the same sheet of music. Cooking. When you hear people talking about meth cooking, that actually means they are preparing the methamphetamine. It's the process of actually manufacturing it, turning the raw materials into the drug. You'll also hear it referred to as meth, crystal, ice, or methamphetamine. Those are the slang terms that you'll hear, just so if you do actually hear it, pick up the, come on in, please. And when you hear those terms, you'll know that what they're really talking about is meth. They're not talking about crystal chandeliers, and they're not talking about ice that you get out of the refrigerator. Now, the other term that you'll hear most commonly associated with meth is tweaking. That's somebody that's under the influence of methamphetamine. Unfortunately, because of the nature of the drug itself and because of what it does to you if you stay on it long enough, there's neurological damage and you get the twitches. That's why they call it tweaking in a lot of cases. Now, you can actually read, I hate having everybody just read slides and presentations to you. There's the actual Webster's definition of what methamphetamine is. It's a very strong stimulant is what it comes down to. Used in appropriate doses, amphetamine can be used as weight loss. They also use it to treat certain medical conditions like narcolepsy. But unfortunately, what we're talking about is the illegal use of the drug and how it's been changed around. What does meth look like? Appearance of crystal meth is just what it sounds like. If any of you have ever seen a window in your car that's been broken and the little pieces that it breaks up into, it's very clear, small chunks. That's the crystal part of it, or the ice part of it. Lower grade meth will be a yellow to whitish powder. Not unlike, it's a consistency somewhere between salt and flour. It just depends. And it usually has a yellowish cast to it because it's a lower grade of methamphetamine. The ways you can use it: snorting it, smoking it, injecting it. Any of it will do the job. Short-term effects, as you can see, just like the diet pills that a lot of it is derived from, suppressed appetite is one of the things. Because it is a stimulant, you may stay awake for days on end. That can happen as well. In addition to that, obviously because you're staying awake, you're going to disrupt your sleep patterns. Also, you'll have mood changes. As it continues on and you get farther into it, you can have things like hallucinations. You can have homicidal or suicidal thoughts, anxiety attacks, and just a host of other symptoms that may show up. And here's why. Common meth ingredients. The amphetamine comes out of a source of ephedrine or pseudoephedrine. And a lot of the cold tablets that you have out there, the diet pills that you have out there have this ingredient in them. You can get out there and when I was cooking, you combine it with things like red phosphorus, the heads of matches that are red. Just break that down, use it. Slightly on the explosive side, and as you can tell, they caught up with me eventually. Diet pills, drain cleaner. Drain cleaner has lye in it. Very good washing agent, also very toxic. White gasoline. Anybody ever cooked over a camp stove, Coleman fuel, white gas? That goes into it too to help filter it. If you notice all these lovely little ingredients, most of them are toxic, most of them are flammable, and most of them are highly dangerous. One pot meth, which is what caught up with me eventually. I'm not going to go into how you make it. That's not what this is all about. I don't want to give anybody any ideas. But it's made literally in one pot. You add the materials, the ephedrine and the ammonium nitrate. That's drain cleaner, guys. Turns it into a nice little explosive mixture. And if you don't get out of the way, if you put too much in it, if you haven't mixed it right, guess what? It explodes. Now, the environmental cost of all of this, depending on the source that you look at, for every 1 pound of methamphetamine produced, 5 to 6 pounds of hazardous or toxic materials. Now, when I was cooking, it didn't matter to me. Pour it out on the side of the road, pour it down the drain, pour it down the toilet in the hotel room that I was cooking in. Didn't matter. It wasn't my problem. How I got involved in it? Pretty simple. I started as a cooker. What was my bottom line motivation? Money. I got paid well to be a chemist. However, the demand got to be so high, I needed to do something so I could stay awake and continue to produce meth. That's how I got hooked. It took me once. Soon after that, I was producing more for my own use than for anybody else's. And